Yes, people, welcome back to the channel. We get myself and Lee Judges to talk all things Arsenal today. Last night at the Emirates was a win, but it weren't the best of performances. We're going to talk about that as we look forward as well to the Sunday's fixture, which of course is the huge game at the Emirates against Liverpool. Liverpool fans are even saying themselves, this is our first real test, which is a compliment to Arsenal, even though they've come off the back of a game against Chelsea, which I actually thought was quite difficult for them. But fair play to Liverpool at the moment, sitting pretty at the top. Will it last? We're going to talk about the injury crisis at Arsenal, which I think it is turning into at the moment. We do not know what is happening at the weekend. We're going to give you the latest news on Bukayo Saka, the latest news on Timber, and the latest news on Calafiori as we go through the news. Lee, let me start with last night, mate. How are you? How did you find it? Easy watch, fun watch, entertaining watch, or was it like me, a little bit of a struggle?
It was a tough. Did you go yesterday?
Yeah, I went, mate.
Yeah, tough. Tough to watch that. Like the atmosphere weren't great. I've got to say, I don't know how you felt about this, but walking to the ground, it was like hardly anybody about, like to normal. You know, normally sort of shuffling along to get everyone. Nowhere near the same sort of thing. I don't know if people were getting in early or whatever. It didn't seem like that. The atmosphere was not very good all game, I have to say. Well put, Adam. I think that's probably about right what he said. And that ends the stream. Thank you very much for watching.
Tell us how you thought it went, Adam.
I think, Adam, you've summed it up really well. I think it was, you know what I mean? I would have perhaps gone as strong as that. I'd have left out the performance.
It's brilliant, that. Actually, tell us how you really feel, mate.
Tell us how you think in the chat. Come on, let's have it. Let's have it how you feel like. Come on, like absolute class. Comment of the week, that is. I tell you that.
We should start doing that, like you do on Forever Arsenal.
You know what I mean. So we're so like, you know, but no, it was. I'm going to say it was awful. I didn't enjoy the game. Sarah with a much more dignified comment.
Yeah, she's right though.
Yeah. Like, you know,
I should have taken the penalty.
100%. We'll get into that. I was fuming last night when that happened, and I'll tell you why. Nothing because King Kai is a favourite of mine. I was with Russ, you know, last night. Good friend Russell Hogg, and he was saying it's the same thing. Harry Kane, if he gets 20, you go, Harry Kane got 22 goals this season, or he's got 200 goals in the Premier League. Doesn't say underneath it how many penalties.
No.
Right? You're our number 9. You're the main striker. You take the responsibility. You take up. I was annoyed at Arteta afterwards for saying, "Oh well, Saka and Martin weren't playing, so I let him choose it." So you're so thoughtful on everything you do, and you let that go, right? Well, I'm telling you that now, and I'm peeved with Kai Havertz for allowing it to happen. You're the number 9. You're the man with the goals. Get hold of that ball and say, get away from it. I'm the man. You know what I mean? I'm the one that needs to score the goal. I thought it was that just summed up the night for me. I don't care. I tell you what, I'm not lying when I say this, Dan. If he scores that penalty, I'm not cheering because I had the ump. There's no way he should have took that penalty. 1, because of, you know, goals. 2, he's on a record. Why wouldn't you let him have it? I just thought it was a pathetic night of football at the end of it. I have to say, like, no, poor performance.
You see Arteta after, he said, "Oh, I don't really know what happened. Like, I'll let them sort it out between them."
Ridiculous talk. You know what I mean? Like, he should have turned around and said, "Havertz, get on that." And I can't believe that he let that, you know what I mean? So, listen, that just summed up the night for me. Like, Thomas Partey was outstanding in the first half in midfield, but as soon as he went off, midfield control was gone. Mourinho looks like he needs about 5 more games before I'm even going to start thinking about him, like, you know. And at the end of it, it just wasn't a great game, you know. I don't know I didn't know. I knew it was a good save from Raya, don't get me wrong. But I've seen it back, like, it come off his forearm.
World class, mate.
World-class save, you know what I mean? What a hit, by the way, and what a save. You know what I mean? But that when it hits his forearm, Dan, it could have gone anywhere. It could have gone in the gut. You know what I mean? We could have ended up losing or not losing, drawing that game. And a game that we should never be in danger with. Like, you know what I mean? Missed chances. Calafiori missed a very, very good chance in the first few minutes. Obviously, the penalty. Jesus had a good. I thought the goalkeeper done well to save that. But all in all, it weren't the greatest performance. But do I feel better than what I did on Saturday? Yeah, we won the game, so you can not forgive it a little bit, but it's a little bit easier, isn't it, when you win the game? Don't you think? Like, you know, but it
Of
will.
course it is. Yeah, look, you win the game and you walk away thinking, yeah, fair play, it's better. But I will say this: there's only really Thomas Partey in the first half. Jesus for the first 15, 20 minutes that looked a bit sharper, and Martinelli throughout the whole game. Everyone else was pretty meh, again, if I'm honest, other than a rare world-class save. I mean, Gabriel and Saliba didn't really put too much wrong. There weren't much for him to do. Calafiori just, nah. I don't know about him, Lee. Ben
Well,
White, by the
he's
way,
injured
was
now.
absolutely spun. I mean, crikey, Ben White got spun and then he got hooked because he got carded. But
Yeah,
Calafiori, well, I mean, he got injured. I don't know what he was doing on the ball. I mean, dilly-dallying on it and then he gets injured. His positioning's all over the place. This Calafiori, by the way. I'm sorry. Like, he is all over the place positionally. I can't be hypocritical and say that Zinchenko is and then not him because they look identical sometimes. I
mm,
look at him and I think, thank God he's better defensively because he's about as bad positionally as Zinchenko. He's having a cup of tea half the time. He doesn't go along with the line of his defenders, does he? He's just all over the place. So I think watching him in midfield, Marino, yet to see what he's bringing to Arsenal. Not quite sure yet. I'm giving him more time. Trossard, oh my word, how bad was he? Every pass, every long ball, missed the penalty, which just tops it off, like you said, to take it off Havertz and then miss it. What a poor penalty it was, by the way, as well. I mean, it
yeah,
was just awful. And then I thought Jesus and Sterling are just not. We just need Saka back because they ain't good enough. Sterling just runs into players. I don't quite know what he's trying to do yet. And Kai Havertz was just standing up there trying to do what he could, working hard and doing what he does, which is just work hard and wait for someone to come and link up with him. But nobody was. But Martinelli, I thought was really good, Lee. I've got to say that.
yeah,
I thought he was actually the threat. So that's got to keep continuing. But I'm crying out. I don't know about you. That's why I've titled it this. I'm crying out. I'm going, when's Ethan going to come on then? When's Ranieri going to come on? Because we ain't creating anything. And they don't bring him on the pitch. And I'm thinking, well,
yeah,
when is he going to get this opportunity then, Ethan Ranieri? Do you know what I mean? That's why I wanted to start with you here because
yeah.
I'm not saying he should start every game now, but he came on Bournemouth 2-0 down. He started Bolton, got a brace. He came on against Leicester, lifted us the game. Some people thought he was a massive part as to why we won it. When he came on against Bournemouth, he looked one of the best players, what we've been missing. And we still don't see him when Trossard's stinking out of the place. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, listen, and also when they did take Trossard off, they brought Jorginho on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, very, very cautious. I think he was cautious all the way through. I don't know what's going on really. I feel that, mate, you know, it could be that he's going to unleash him against Liverpool now. I'm in the camp now that he plays. What I see on yesterday, I'm sorry. Not for that. First of all, Calafiori, if he doesn't make the run, Martinelli doesn't score. It's a fantastic run. He runs on the outside. The fullback thinks he's going to play. It gives Martinelli that little bit of extra space to get the shot in. So that's where Calafiori does well. But I'm with you on that. I think Calafiori is one of those players that think at one time, Dan, I think he's going to go. He goes into tackles, and I think there's no need to make a tackle like that. On the halfway line, you could get yourself injured, sort of thing, like, you know. So I'm not 100% sure of him, but I think now Ranieri's got to come in there, like, you know. I think it's got to be done. We're not going to have Odegaard. I think Saka might play. You know, like, that's nice, Hannah, that you take a draw. Thank you very much, like, you know. So
Yeah, we'll take that, you know, appreciate that. Nice
appreciate
to
it.
be nervous still, isn't it? Even though we've got some players out, do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
no, listen, I think like you know, Liverpool are in a good place at this moment in time. It's not the perfect time to be taking them on, but I'm going to say it now. I think we need a Liverpool now. I think we need a Liverpool or a Tottenham or somebody, Man United or someone like that, because what I've seen with us with the like the Southamptons and the Bournemouths and the Leicesters, we've not been quite up for it. We need to be up for this game. We need to be up for it big time. I think that we need it. We need it. And I don't think it's coming at the right time, but I really do, because we need something, Dan, that's going to give us all a shot in the arm, and also the players a bit of confidence and whatever, because what I'm seeing, I'm not liking. I'm not liking, it wasn't a great performance yesterday. What gives me a little bit more of a worry is that if we do go 1-0 up against Liverpool, or we're on top and all that, we then sort of sit back a little bit like we did yesterday. And a team like, I'll tell you what, another 5 minutes, I think that they might have scored yesterday, another 5 minutes in that game. When I've got people next to me and all that, when the 6 minutes coming up, I thought it'd only be about 3 minutes. Well, we was a little bit fans were a little bit nervy, we should be thinking, come on, that's another 5-6 minutes to score a goal, not to finish a game. So I think that's it there. But for me now, Trossard was awful yesterday, and it's now time. It's now time to bring Wanyeri in, but he won't. Wanyeri will come in against Preston. I'll be shocked if he does it. Bournemouth, if you're playing, he should be bringing in. He should be bringing him in there instead of Marino, right? And in now, I'm thinking like Trossard weren't great. Weren't great in there, Havertz held the ball up well yesterday, but he's being isolated because we're not having the Saka. He's sort of drifting into Saka's position a few times yesterday. I don't know if you noticed it, out wide. I'm going, what are you doing out there? I don't know what all that's about. But Martinelli was the shining light. I thought he was work rate. It was just unreal. And I think that he don't get the credit he deserves for that. Even people saying, he's still not the guaranteed starter and whatever. I really do think that that was as good a performance. Yeah. Now people turn around and go, well, it's only Shakhtar. Well, I didn't see I didn't see Trossard ripping it up. I didn't see Kai Havertz ripping it up. I didn't see anybody really ripping it up, but I see him doing it yesterday. As I say, I thought Thomas Partey was very, very good as well yesterday, in the first half. But I have to say, I think that it was an hard watch, wasn't it? It was an hard watch.
It weren't good, bro. It weren't good, mate. And, Partey for me, when we went right back, we lost our midfield completely. I thought we were really, really poor going forward. There was no creativity whatsoever. There was no vision. There was no passing, nothing in the final third. I think it proves that Havertz is great, but you need players around him. He ain't going to do nothing on his own. Like when you get that Alexis Sanchez type player that, boom, make something out of something, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Thierry Henry, Havertz ain't nowhere near that level, is he? I know you like him, and I think he's done well as well, but I ain't looking at Havertz.
I know what you mean. He hasn't got that.
So when we play Havertz, we have to play the people around him. We can't just go, we got Havertz up there, we're fine. Nah, we're going to get nothing from him. He's just going to hold the ball up, and then no one's going to be around him, and he'll lose the ball. Because that's basically what's going to happen with Havertz. So you can't play that way without him. And I just think we've got to find a way without Erdogan and Saka to be creative. Now, there's rumours that Saka might make it. We'll go on to Liverpool in a minute. But the Ethan Wanyeri thing is a strange one for me, Lee. I want to ask you this. When that summer window's shut, right, and I said to you, bloody hell, I think we're Eze or a striker away from it being half decent. I was told, but you have forgotten. He's trusting Ethan Wanyeri. Well, he ain't, Lee, is he? So if he ain't trusting Ethan Wanyeri, we needed to buy somebody in the summer and loan him out so he gets good first-team football. Or we need to play him because he's the replacement for Smith Rowe, who's now left. And he ain't doing either of those things. I don't really get it. I don't quite understand it. I mean, Lewis Skelly come on last night, and that was the interesting one that he came on at left-back when Calafiori got injured ahead of Zinchenko and Kivior. What do you make of that? Partey playing at right back. What do you make of that? All this stuff going into the weekend. But Ethan Wanyeri not coming on. I'm thinking, if Trossard was balling out, I'd be like, do you know what? We don't need him. But Trossard had a stinker of a game, and we still didn't see this lad come on.
Well, that's it is a worry for me now. And listen, I think that, and I don't want to go down the route of, and I think that I've seen it a little bit on Twitter and social media and everything like that, or X as they say now, is that this seems like, Wanyeri's not playing, it's we can bash Arteta for this. We can start criticising the manager for this and everything like that. There's got to be a reason why that he's not, because what I've said, I've said it all along. He's ready. He's ready not to play week in, week out, 20, 30 games.
Yeah.
I get that, but I think he's good enough to play 2 or 3 games. Now I don't know, and you might think I'm being silly here, but this is the way I'm thinking. Maybe he thinks that he could get away with the games without the creativity in the games against Bournemouth and the games against Leicester and all that. And maybe he knows that with the games against Newcastle, games with Liverpool and Chelsea, he's going to need that creative spark. And maybe he's holding him back for those games. Now, I'm not saying that he is, but it wouldn't surprise me if he comes in against Liverpool, and I would say, yeah, I get what he's doing. For me now, that's the only reason that I can be thinking of now. Like he's thinking, right, I'm saving him for these next 3 games: Liverpool, Newcastle, and
he's going to play Preston. He's going to play Preston, isn't he?
Well, he won't do if he plays against Liverpool. He'll probably play Liverpool, rest against Preston. I don't know. I really don't know on all this site. I think it's time now to give him the go. I looked at that game yesterday. It was lacking a spark. The Leicester game was lacking a spark, and he ignited the game. And I think that he'd do it now. I've just got a little feeling that he may come in this game. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's the only explanation I can think, Dan, that he's just holding him back for these 3 big, where we're going to need to be very, very good defence, but we're going to need that creative spark, and he'll give us it, So that is it. But so I'm not going to get onto Arteta at this moment in time, Dan. But I'll tell you what, if we play the game against Liverpool and we can't break them down and we end up losing the game, I think he's going to come under pressure because of not playing this kid. I think we've all seen him play, and it's not that we're relying on it's not that we're relying on our 17-year-old kid. I've heard that, we shouldn't be relying on a 17-year-old kid. He's not. He's back up for Odegaard or back up as an attacking option. And ideally, you don't want to have him in the side. But I think that the big thing, I think the last 2 games we've missed Odegaard, it's been plain to see. But that's because Saka's not been playing as well. So for me, if Saka is playing, I think you've got to have... I don't want to say, we've got Saka playing now, so that means we don't need... Oh, no. Go with the pair of them. I would leave Trossard out of this game now. But I don't think he will. We'll go with the tried and trusted. And I watched Trossard yesterday. Not for me in that position. But he has done well for us. What I say, that's the wrong thing to say. I think he's been okay for us and done well for us in games where it's not been that important to be as creative, because we've gone away to Villa, we've gone away to Tottenham, away to Man City. But now when you're playing the likes of these teams at home, like Leicester's, Southampton's, Shakhtar Donetsk and all that, you're going to need a little bit more guile, a little bit more stuff. I think that's where we've become wanting, and I think Trossard's not been quite so good. But when you're going away to Tottenham winning 1-0, you're not bothered how well we play and whatever, is it? Do you know what I'm saying? But these games now, we've got to open up teams. Listen, Liverpool are not going to come here like they have done in the past under Klopp and be gung-ho and all that. They're going to be very, very compact. They're going to be very, very tactically aware of what they're going to do. And they're going to say to us, come on to us, break us down, and we will hit you on the break, and we'll create, and they will score goals. They even done it at Chelsea at home a little bit in that first half. They just said, right, you ain't have all the play, and we'll hit you on the break. So that's where we've got to be careful of. So we're gonna have to have people that can open it up, and hopefully Saka's available. Saka on one side of the flank, Martinelli with a pace on the other, and a little bit of magical stuff with Wanyeri. And if you get 1 or 2-0 up, please get 1 or 2-0 up. I don't mind seeing then Wanyeri coming off and putting in someone like Jorginho to stifle the game, But that's where I see it going,
Yeah, I mean, look, big up to Chris in the chat, Chris Hudson in the chat. Big up, Chris. Barcelona, they got 3 17-year-olds playing. You got that, your male. It don't matter how old you are, does it? If you're good enough, you're good enough. And he looks a talent. He looks a talent. He looks wonderful. For me, I think he's a guy that's got to get an opportunity now. Not playing every game, but certainly coming on for games,
Yeah.
trying to create something. That's what I was crying out for last night, and I couldn't believe we brought on Jorginho instead. Just couldn't believe it. But this is the way that Mikel Arteta is at the moment. Look, we'll move on to injuries because there is a load of injuries at the moment at Arsenal, mate, and we've got some news at the moment talking about it. So let's share that first of all, because obviously we've got a couple of bits and pieces that is coming out literally in the last hour or so, really, talking about who's going to be fit, who's not going to be fit, who do we think is going to play, blah, blah, blah. So Calafiori come off last night, Lee, as you saw, limped off of a knee injury against Shakhtar. He's a doubt for the Liverpool game. Wouldn't surprise me if he misses it at all, if I'm honest. From what Arteta said, it didn't look great. I don't think that means he's out for months, but certainly he missed a couple of games, I think, at least. Medics will make a late call on Julian Timber's fitness for the game due to a muscular injury. So Timber could make it, Calafiori probably not. That's the first news. I'll ask you on that in a minute. And then we'll come to the news of Bukayo Saka. Sammy McBell is saying that Arsenal are not ruling out Saka for their showdown against Liverpool. There's a sense of positivity that Saka can be available if he doesn't suffer any setbacks ahead of the game. Obviously, there's news earlier on saying Saka is expected to be available to face Liverpool on Sunday. Calafiori will undergo a scan to understand the extent of the injury. So it looks like at the moment, Calafiori is probably going to miss the game. Potentially Timber and Saka back, Lee. How important is that?
Yeah, it's very important. I think let's get the Calafiori one out there. He's going to be out minimum 3 weeks, minimum. Could be worse, could be longer. Bit of a bad fall if it happens. I didn't see it. I just thought it was a knock, to be honest, at first. But after seeing the pictures and everything there, he's probably stretched a ligament there. Might not be serious, but hopefully it's not a tear of a cartilage or something like that, maybe. So if it is, that's even longer, 6 to 8 weeks out, a couple of months. So, but I don't think it'd be too bad. It didn't look too bad. And look, I have to say, don't the medical staff look at the way he's fallen on a monitor or something to let him get back up and play again? Again, what is going on there? Another poor decision in my eyes. He was allowed to carry on and all that, and now could be out for weeks. If he's out for weeks, which he probably could be, Dan, why are you bringing him back on?
Yeah, I don't get it.
So that needs to be addressed. Surely you could go, right, how's he got injured? Let's have a look. Oh, look, no, whatever happened, get him off. So I thought that was poor again from whoever. So it was interesting that he put in Miles Skellett in there instead of Shinchenko. Shinchenko probably needed more minutes if he was going to play. So
against Shakhtar as well, I thought Zinchenko would have featured, but
yeah, but didn't. So we'll have to see what happens there. I do think Saka and Timber are being held back for this game. I do. I think that I think if it was a cup game, cup game, semi-final or playing Liverpool on last night, I think maybe there would have been played. But extra 4 days, get some training under them. I think they'll be all right. And do you know what I'm going to say now? I think Saka needed that rest. He needs that 2-3 weeks rest anyway. It was about 2 weeks, isn't it? It's 2 weeks tomorrow, isn't it, that he got injured. But if you have got a hamstring strain, it is minimum 3 weeks. So I'm probably saying it might not be. So I think we've got to build without him being here. So listen, at the end of it, Saka didn't play against Man City last season, so I'm not unbelievably worried. If he's not there, he's not there. But players have got to step up. But you've got to have some flair in that midfield. I think Odegaard again. I think is going to be about. I'll still say another 2 or 3 weeks away. I'm not one for reading the program, but obviously got a program last night, and I'm reading, his notes with interest. so like to see if he might be coming back and all that. Like, but listen, Dan, the injuries are mounting up. So, but he's got to find a way. And with all these injuries, if Wanyeri ain't getting a game, I think he'd be getting a little bit frustrated. Not like to the extent where he's getting the ump, but if it was me, I'd be coming home and going, play against City, Mark Lewis is getting more games than me at the minute, like, you know what I mean? He's having more games than me. I don't know, but there's going to be a time when it does. It's a big call if he does play him on Sunday. Big call, but I wouldn't be surprised if he did. But I think Calafiori is going to be out for at least a few weeks now, minimum. Timber again is another one. Like, this injury was before the international break, so he's had about 3 or 4. I think he's kept holding him back as well. I think that I think he'll play. I'll be very surprised if he's not about. And the good thing about Timber now, with Ben White being available and Shinchenko being available now, and you've got Miles Kelly in there that can play there, you can say to Timber, play Sunday, rest Wednesday, play Sunday. Saturday against Newcastle. Don't bother travelling to Italy. Be ready for Chelsea. Then it's international break. Bit of more time off. Like nursing through these difficult fixtures. So I will be surprised if Timber and Saka are not playing or not part of it on Sunday.
Timber and Saka need to start, man. They do. Because the team doesn't look so bad. We're basically missing Ødegaard and Saliba if Timber and Saka are back. If we've got Timber out, Calafiori out, Saka out, Saliba suspended, Ødegaard out, we're starting to then get too many. So we need a couple of them to come back, Lee, big time. Yeah. Now, Ødegaard's definitely not going to be about. Calafiori, I don't think will be about. Timber and Saka, I think might be all right. And I'm hoping, like you say, they've held him back for this. And I don't know about Timber. I think that there might be a late shout for both of them. But if they've got a few more days left where they don't have any setbacks, hopefully they're both good enough to play because we need them for this game. Big time, mate. Absolutely big time to play. What would you do if we have no Timber and no Saka? What would you do? Let's talk about Saka first. Do you play Sterling or Jesus? Who gets the nod on the right?
Jesus for me. I thought he was all right yesterday. He weren't nothing special, but things didn't quite come for him. Like he made a good, save out the keeper. There was a one that he got on the end of which nearly got Kai Havertz in. Like looked okay, trying hard a little bit, but I thought he'd done all right in the first half. If I'll be honest, and don't think. Listen, I'm not saying he was fantastic, but I think he'd done enough to say that out of him and Sterling, he comes in like that, in my opinion.
I would play Jesus. Sterling, I just don't. I don't get either of them at the moment, but I don't really understand what Sterling's doing. And I mean, he didn't look great against Bournemouth. He got hooked and subbed off. Okay, he was looking a bit threatening, but he weren't really doing much with the ball. Last night, he come on and he just kept running into players, didn't he? I mean, there was nothing really that he was doing that I could see that was coming off. And I just don't think that that's what we need right now. It has to be Jesus, I think, playing on that wide right, or wide right, should I say. What are we doing at the back, Lee? Because at the moment, it could be pretty tough. We know that Calafiori is out, Saliba is out, and Timber might be. Tomiyasu is. So we've got Zinchenko, Kivior, White, Gabriel, and then we're struggling. What are we doing?
Well, I'm going with. I don't want to see Thomas Partey at right back. I don't want to see that, like, you know what I mean. So, you might think I'm mad here when I'm saying it, but I think that an option is Declan Rice going back there.
Hey, so right, you and I are on the same page. Fine, there we go.
So I'm in there to say, like, put Declan Rice in there. You might even think that I'm mad on this as well, like, but I would probably play Jorginho and Partey more than Marino. He hasn't impressed me, Marino. Hasn't impressed me. So I could go down that thing there. So it would be like White at right back, Rice, Gabriel. Left side now, it's out of. I think you've got to go Shinchenko for just a bit more experience than Lewis Skelly, ain't you? I don't know.
Well, it's. Let me bring this up because I did this on my show actually, and it was just easier to explain it. This is the team I'd like it to be if Timber and Saka are fit, right? If Timber and Saka aren't fit, this is what I would do. If Timber and Saka aren't fit, obviously Jesus comes in for Saka. Saka comes out. If Timber ain't fit, then we can either play Zinchenko there. If you don't want Zinchenko against Salah, which I don't particularly, the only other option is Kivior there. Or you play Miles Lewis-Skelly there against Salah in his first ever start for Arsenal, which is throwing him in the deep end massively. But we have seen it done before. We're crying out for Wanyeri. I would play Partey. I would probably stick with Marino because he is supposed to be the 8 and Trossard as the 10. You've got Wanyeri to bring on. You've got Jorginho if you want to really mix it up in midfield.
Yeah.
And obviously you've got Sterling to bring on up top and Wanyeri. But I don't know. At the moment, it's looking like that might have to be the team. And it's this position which is really a struggle at the moment because Salah is an absolute brilliant player. So I don't know. That's what I'm looking at. I'm with you on the Rice situation because I don't think we miss Rice in midfield as an 8. I think we do as a 6. But when you've got Partey there playing so well, you can't drop him. So I think Rice at the back is probably better because he's actually naturally right-footed and he can play on that right side. If you've got to play Kivior over there, yeah, that's a bit of a struggle for me. Ben White, I don't like him at centre-back, if I'm honest with you. I mean, I wasn't horrendous, shambolic there, but he's better as a right-back. And I just think with that team, you're not asking everyone to mix positions. Partey, you now go right back, but you're really a midfielder. White, you're a right back, you go back in the middle. Right, now we need you to come. If we just put Rice there, he's the only one out of position. Everyone else stays the same in their normal positions. Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. And if Timber's fit, he goes to left back.
Absolutely that, mate. And I'm hoping if Timber and Saka are fit, we've actually got a strong side, Lee.
Yeah. I mean, so listen, at the end of the day, I'm not saying that it's ideal to put Partey there. It's not ideal, but Rice. But I'd rather have Rice going at centre half than Partey going right back.
I think he will go with Partey at right back. I think he will because he played there last night. Why did he go there last night?
Maybe he had a look at it. And then hopefully he realised that we got dominated in midfield by Shakhtar. So not to do it. I thought, it was pretty poor after that. He might have done it for, there's a couple of reasons that he could have done that for. Is that, yes, Ben White was on a booking. Yeah, he needs him for Sunday. And also he needs to get Marino minutes. So there could have been those sort of factors. It was an opportunity to do it. He felt that they'd come in there and still dominate midfield. It didn't happen. So for me now, Liverpool, a little bit like Arsenal, where their strength is in their wide areas. So you've got to have, I think, your 2 best fullbacks available. Now, listen, this may come down to now fitness now. Zinchenko has to play. And I'm not going to, if Zinchenko, I know you turned around and said, like, if he's playing, you're not going to go or you're going to walk out the ground. It's not now by absolute
desperation.
Yeah. If you'd have put him there and you've got Timber and Calafiori on the bench, I get all of that, like, you know what I mean. But it could be now that we could have to go with him at left back, and I don't think that. Listen, he's as bad as what everybody says it. So I'm not against it. It may be even that he put on Lewis Skelly last night because he felt that he needed a few more days not to risk Zinchenko. So I don't know. I think
there is something else. There is something else we could do, which they're identifying correctly in the chat. Actually, Adam has said it, and Oregon Goon has said it. 3-4-3. So basically, what they're saying is you go with Gabriel, White, and Kivior as your back three. You use Zinchenko and Saka as your wing backs, and then you got Trossard, Havertz, and Martinelli with Partey and Rice in the middle. Could do that. Could do that.
But I think there's too much space out on the flanks there. I think you've got to go four at the back in this game. Like, you know, if I'll be honest, try and nullify their wide players. That's what I would do. I get that, and this is the problem that you got with Calafiori going out. In I think if he was to play it back three, why wouldn't you play it yesterday?
Yeah,
I don't know why you're playing Saliba yesterday when he's not about for this game. Calafiori, I think Calafiori would have struggled against Salah a little bit as well, like, because as you quite rightly said, he gets out of position a little bit, like, and sometimes it's desperate defending, but his desperate defending does work. So it'd be interesting to see what we go with now. Like, you know, I think that we're still going to get plenty of the ball tomorrow. I think, on Sunday. I think that Liverpool will let us have that night. So, you know, I think there's options. The other option is, you know, we've got Josh Nichols that can play right back, who is a right back, who has been playing right back, to come in. Big ask to play in there. But I think that you're right, what you're saying, and the theory of if you do bring in a Josh Nichols, or you bring in like maybe a Timber, and you're moving Ben White across, there's lots of changes then, isn't there? Like, you know, so really, like, if you put in Partey, there's only the one change, you know what I mean? Like, natural position for Zinchenko, natural position for Gabriel, natural position for Ben White. It's only Rice that hasn't. But Rice has played centre half for Arsenal before. I think he played there once when he had to go back in there for some unknown. Am I dreaming that? And also he's played there for West Ham. So I don't think it's too much of a loss from if he's going to play a holding for it. But I do like Rice going forward. But he hasn't been right on it this season anyway. I think, you know, because of he hasn't had enough rest, in my opinion. But listen, this team selection is going to be an unbelievable one in the next couple of days. I will say this about Miles Kelly as well. I thought he looked very, very calm. I think he was a plus yesterday when he came on.
He was
a plus. Come on and done really, really well. You know, not afraid to get the ball in difficult areas. There was a couple of times when he had to defend, he got his foot in and all that. But it's a big ask. A big ask.
Yeah, it is. I'll tell you this, though. I would actually rather have Lewis Skelly playing than Josh Nichols at right back, and I'd rather have Lewis Skelly playing than Zinchenko. But you know my thoughts on Zinchenko. I haven't seen enough from him when he plays defensively. I just think he's so bad. And I saw Salah rip him apart only a couple of months ago in our pre-season. So I'm not interested in seeing Zinchenko unless he wants to play in the left 8 of midfield now. I just don't want to see him playing at left back because defensively he lets us down. Look, I think Declan Rice playing at centre-back is an ask. If you want me to be really brutally honest, I actually think if Timber's not fit for this one, we're going to see Partey at right-back, Ben White centre-back, Gabriel left-sided centre-back, and I think Zinchenko or Kivior at left-back. And that does not fill me with confidence against Liverpool. Now, apparently Jota might be out, which is good because he's a killer and loves a goal against Arsenal, but they've still got Salah, Diaz, Gakpo and Nunez, who all do know where the goal is between them. Their midfield has been very, very good, actually, in the last couple of games, particularly with Alexis McAllister and Ryan Gramovich, who's been fantastic as the 6. Curtis Jones, in my opinion, was player of the match against Chelsea. I thought he was outstanding. So Liverpool got some players that can hurt us. Defensively, Lee, they've been very good, Liverpool. Very, very good. You know, Trent and Robertson, people always laugh and go, they can only go one way, and that's forward. But defensively, they've all been good as a unit. Even Trent defensively has been good. Robertson's picked up a bit more of his form, and Van Dijk has been phenomenal, mate. He's probably been the best defender in the league this season, to be fair to him. And Kenyatte as well. So, look, Alisson out, Jota out. Definitely going to be missing those 2 players. But we're going to be missing players as well. You know, we've got no Saliba, no Odegaard, potentially no Saka or Timber, definitely no Calafiori. This is going to be one of the most interesting team news lineups we're going to see in a long time, judges, when we're waiting for the team news to come out. We're going to be sat there thinking, who is actually going to play them? Where are we going here? Who's in what? You know what I mean? It's going to be quite nerve wracking, isn't it, to see
Yeah,
who we select? You know what I mean?
1:45 on Sunday. He's going to. No, sorry. What? How long is it now? Like no, 3:15. It's going to be an interesting time for Arsenal fans. Massive. You know what I mean? At 3:15, I'll be looking very eagerly at that team, and that will give me the confidence going into the game or not. You know, to be honest, there'll be some really. I think defensively we've got to be sound against Liverpool because they're capable of scoring at any God-given time. We know that. I think there's a much more of a structure towards Liverpool this season than there has been. I've always felt that under Klopp they could always come off the rails, a little bit like us last season, to be honest. Bit erratic. They've not got that now. They're more chess sort of like, a little bit like us, but it's a test for Liverpool. I think that they've had some tests at the moment, but none bigger than this. And at the end of the day, Liverpool will be looking at it and going, look, it's not a very good place to go to the Emirates. They've not been there, done very well in the last couple of seasons. But if you're going to go to the Emirates, it's without Saka, without Odegaard, without Saliba, this is their chance, you know, to match. So there'd be pressure on them if that is the case to do well against us and give it a good go. So, but I don't think that they'd be coming out gun-ho. But listen, I think that we've got to be right at it for them and that. You know, they don't concede that many goals because of the way that they play. Get an early goal against them, see if we can panic them a little bit, see what they can do. I think that there were times in that game that Chelsea were, no, I wouldn't say, listen, they were, I'm not going to say they was on top because I personally believe that Liverpool allowed them to have that sort of territory. Like, you know, sometimes you can have all that playing, you just think, all right, we'll allow you to have that, and then they do certain things. I think tactically Liverpool got it right against Chelsea. I think that if we get an early chance, see what we can do to, you know, put a couple on their goalkeeper. I think that Jordan made a very good point on Forever Arsenal today. One of the things you miss Saka for is his corners, you know, 100%. As well. Like, you know, so they've got if he's not going to be about, they're going to need someone to be looking at putting the in swinging corner in, not the out swinging corner. We've done about 5 or 6 of them yesterday. Weren't no good. So you've got to get someone with a left foot delivering them in there. So it's going to be a really good game, I think. I don't think Liverpool will be scared of us, Dan. I think that they're going to come there thinking that they can win. Listen, the last 2 years we've gone to Liverpool thinking that we can win and got draws out of it, like, you know. So, yeah, I think that they're going to have a spell against us tomorrow on Sunday, and we've got to be really up for it and defend properly. So it's going to be interesting. I think if Arsenal get a goal early, do you remember they got a goal early against them? Was it last year? I think it was. And then we give away a silly goal, and then Van Dijk did. Yeah. You know, we've got to get them out of their comfort zone a little bit. I think that they've been too comfortable, Liverpool, at this moment in time. So we've got to try and get them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah, agreed, man. I agree with you. Listen, bro, let's come to some questions before we do come to close. Some super chats have come in, said, who would you start for Saliba from Chaitanya? We both agreed Declan Rice. Yeah, fair play. Big up to Chaitanya. I trust Miles Lewis-Skelly to do a job on Salah more than Zinchenko. I'm with Dial Square. I do. I just think that if you were going to put Salah up against Zinchenko, we know what's going to happen. He could still do the same to Lewis-Skelly, don't get me wrong. But from what I've seen, it looks as if he's played more minutes than Zinchenko this season anyway, Miles Lewis-Skelly. So I don't think it would be a shambolic decision, but I'm hoping that Timber, of course, is fit.
The other thing I will say about this, Mo Salah can do that to most fullbacks.
Yes.
All right. You know what I mean? It's not just Zinchenko he can beat and humiliate. He can do it to anybody. And I think that's sometimes, you know, Zinchenko hasn't been mullered by many a right-sided player, but, you know, Mo Salah on his day is one of the best. So I don't matter who you put in there, whether you put Timber in there, he will get past you on some occasions because he's a bloody good player, you know. And we won't double up on him like other teams do with Saka. So, you know, you are going to get exposed some sort of time. So, if he does play Miles Skelly there, he is going to get beaten by him on a couple of occasions. There's no two ways about that. But that's when Gabriel's got to get over there and the wall at the back. You know what I mean? Like smash into that wall, and hopefully Mo says, "Well, I don't want no more of that."
There you go. I'm with you. Joe says switch it up formation wise. In his opinion, do you see any formation change, mate? Or
No. Too much of a risk at a game like this. Why change something that we've had one defeat? You know what I mean? Like, there's not panic about things at this moment in time. Like, it's been one defeat, one poor performance. We got the win yesterday. That stops that rot. So hopefully, like, we can go on and all that. Like, I think it's a time now to just say we had a bad game against Bournemouth, but let's get behind the team now. Let's just see what happens. Let's not go too bad. See what happens on Sunday. If we get the result, brilliant. We've got two massively difficult away games after that. We're not out of the woods by any stretch of the imagination. What that game against Bournemouth done is put pressure on these 3 games, damn well, where you could probably afford to draw one of them. You know what I mean? But now we've got to win all 3, and that's very, very difficult. So for me, I'm still confident that the team will perform with whoever they have there. And we've got players in that team that can harm them as well. Don't forget that. There's players in that team that can harm them, if on form. And we've got to get back a little bit of form. Trossard's certainly got to get back into form. Havertz has got to be at his top of his game. Saka's got to play. If he's not playing, then Jesus has got to come in and have one hell of a game. Or Sterling. I'm baffled that Sterling didn't play yesterday. I don't really get that after being ruthlessly left out, taken off on Saturday for obvious reasons, but then not to get the start, difficult. But this is it now. This is, these games are here. This is what we want, and we've got to produce. And I think it's going to be a nervous affair, Dan. I can't lie on that. I'm not going to be as confident as I was 2-3 weeks ago. Arsenal could quite easily lose this game. Could quite easily win it and could easily draw it as well. And I know that's silly when you say that, but that's what will happen.
It ain't like, let's be real. Like, this is going to be horrible. But Liverpool ain't going there thinking, I can't wait. It's going to be about 5-0. It's going to be brilliant. I really don't think Liverpool fans are. I mean, there's some in the chat. Let me know if you do think you are going to be. I mean, we've got Hannah in here. We've got King Mo. We've got Bear. We've got a few Liverpool fans in here that are, wanting to know what we're thinking. I'd love to know what they're thinking as well, genuinely, because it could be a real big game. Look, there's a couple of things here that I do want to mention. There's 3 questions actually that I do want to close with. This one comes in from Mark, who's saying, would you take a draw Sunday if it's offered to you now, given the injuries that we have? I personally wouldn't, Lee, because I think I think we've got to win the game. I think we've got to win all 3 of these. And with bare minimum, we've got to take 7 out of 9. That's the bare minimum. So, yeah, I think that out of the next 3 Premier League games, that is.
No, we're at home as well, Dan. Got to win this game.
Got to win it.
It's a must-win game for me. I think if Arsenal lose this game, that's the title gone.
Wow. Okay, well, listen, there's a segue then, because that's what Mr. Waffle says. Why do you think that? If we lose, it's done.
Because you've lost 2 games already. Man City only lost 3 all season. And you've got Liverpool in that as well. You've dropped points against Bournemouth. You've dropped points against Brighton. There's not much margin left for it. You've got to go on a 20-game winning streak. I don't think Arsenal got that in them. They might go a few games, 17, which they've done, but there's always a few, history tells you that Arsenal there's a blip in there for Arsenal. You can't afford a blip no more. I honestly believe that if Arsenal don't win this, I don't think that they'll be champions. I think if we win our next 3 games, we've got a different conversation. But
the reason it's hard to disagree with what you're saying is because we were 8 points clear of City and we lost it. Last season, we needed to be pretty much flawless and we weren't. If we go into game week 9, 7 points behind Liverpool and 6 behind Man City, I honestly think the title might be done already. That's how crazy it is.
It's crazy to think that, but it is. That's how it is. Too many points.
Yeah.
Too many points.
I'm with you. There is one other question that is on everybody's lips at the moment, which, of course, actually it comes from a Liverpool fan here. You should have bought a striker. That's your bigger issue. I don't want to keep coming back to this because we can't at the moment, Lee. But do you think this will be something that could potentially let us down? And if so, will we do it in January?
Could be. But look, Liverpool didn't buy a striker. No one's saying about them. You know what I mean? Like, at the minute, everything's not going well for us because of whatever reason. Listen, at this moment in time, with the injury, we got our two best players out. We've got to somehow find a reason of getting over that. Now, it might be well that we do need a striker at the end of the day. I don't know. But no one's saying that Liverpool at this moment in time, we bought no one really apart from the guy from Juventus who has hardly played. Nunes has been a problem for them for a little while. Still a good player, in my opinion, but doesn't score that many goals as he should. But no one's saying Liverpool should have bought a striker. Why? Because Liverpool winning games of football. That's what Arsenal got to start doing.
Yeah, absolutely. 100% agree. And look, I mean, the last super chat of the day is actually something that I do kind of agree and wanted to touch on to close. We may have the quality, but our depth isn't there. I think that's showing now, Lee. I think that's showing now. Look, it's difficult because we've got a lot of players out. We're going through a bit of a crisis at the moment. But everybody I speak to is like, so what, man? Did you have this sympathy for Man United last year, Chelsea last year, Spurs last year? No. You were told, all Arsenal fans said should have the squad. Should have the squad to compete. Don't matter who's out. And we ain't, mate, have we? Let's just be really brutally honest about it. We haven't. Like, we are relying on Ethan Wanyeri to come on to try and create something for us. That means we ain't done enough up front. Jesus and Sterling are stinking out the gaff. That means they ain't adequate cover and they both need to go next season. At the back, we're scrambling away and round, worrying whether we should play Zinchenko or Kivior at left back or Mars Lewis Skelly. And people have told me we did enough in the window. Get in the bin, man. Really, really and truly, let's just be real with it. We ain't done enough. And Kroenke and Edu need to look at himself this season just as much as Arteta does, in my opinion. Because I'm going to separate the two things. And I said this earlier on my channel. If we don't win the Premier League, I don't think it's just on Arteta now, because I don't think the squad is good enough to get across the line against Man City. If we don't win a trophy, I think it is on him, because I think the squad's good enough to win at least one of those 4 trophies, right? So that's where I'm at now. And I'm looking at the board and Edu and the ownership, and I'm thinking, did you really think when that window shut, you all sat there and went, cracked it, boys, go and win it? Because I bet you they didn't, because we ain't bloody good enough, mate. We ain't got a striker other than Havertz, and when he ain't on it, we ain't got no one to bring on. We ain't got a creative midfielder other than Ødegaard. When Saka and him are out together, Havertz don't do nothing, and everyone else is trying to scratch around for it. Marino is actually an option as an attacking midfielder now. What is going on there when we sold Smith Rowe? At the back, we still haven't actually got a proper left back yet. We're playing Timber there sometimes, Calafiori there sometimes, Kivior there sometimes, Zinchenko there, Lewis Skelly. See a pattern? We were doing the same last year. Tomiyasu, Timber, Tierney, Zinchenko. So actually, what is changing this season to what it was last season? I'm sorry, I don't get it. Someone please tell me what is better this year than last year. I can't see it.
Well, no, it ain't better this year because we've got the injuries at this moment in time. I think you have to look at. I get what you're saying, but listen, we've played some really tough games without Ødegaard. We played some really tough games now without Saka. I think, like, you know, if you take away from the if we'd have beaten Bournemouth, we'd be in a very good, still in a very healthy position. I think losing Saka and Ødegaard is difficult. And even if we had bought replacements for them, Dan, they're not going to replace them. Not of the standard that we've got. You know, they might be a little bit better than the standard that we've got. We don't know. But I get what you're saying and everything like that. You know, but you can bring in a squad and injuries. You can get an injury to whatever. I think that we've got lots of injuries and all that. Like, and I'm in the camp. I'm saying that it's go out there and do it. I ain't worried about the injuries and all that. Like, don't make it. I'm not making excuses about the squad being strong. You felt that this squad was strong enough. Go and prove it. Go and prove it now. You know, go and beat Liverpool. Go and beat Newcastle, as you've done against. We went to Spurs down in the same sort of position without Rice, without Odegaard and still got a result. So
Got to do
that's
it again.
Go and do it again. Yeah.
Got to do it again.
Listen, if you want an argument and tell me that the squad depth's, I don't think it's pathetic. As Andrew said, do I think that it's not deep enough? Yeah, I've said that all along. I think that we needed 2 more players to add to that.
Yeah,
I'm with you on that. But at the end of it, I don't think it's no excuses. As Andrew says, there's no excuses. You get given the cards you're dealt with. And I'm sorry, you're paying Sterling and you're paying Jesus a lot of money, Dan. You can go and produce. Go and produce now. This is what you need. This is why you pay these players this big money. Go and produce. I don't want no excuses. If we don't beat Liverpool on Sunday, I'm not going to be looking at injuries and going at that. Find a way. Find a way of getting the result.
That's what we got to do, man. That's what we got to do. Hannah says, I remember being scared about playing against Martinelli. What has happened to him? Red Smoke, big up Chris. He says, we look lost without Martin and Saka. Zara says, Trossard has no support. Well, we got to find it. We got to find it, and we got to make it click at the weekend. That's for sure. Listen, judges, before we go, we've got a couple of prizes to shout out about. And trust me, these are special. First of all, it's football prizes. So let me share this one on the screen. Because do you know what? I'll tell you this now. I know I say this all the time. I am definitely putting in for this one, and everyone will know why.
Yeah. Well, there you go. There you go. Dan's favourite, Ian Wright. Frame signed shirt, Ian Wright. Wow. And at the end of the day, for $3.95, you can get that. As far as I'm saying, they've done it again, football prize. I keep saying it all the time, you know what I mean? Jack messaged me and I always say to him, wow, you've gone above it again, like, And that is, well, I'm fortunate I've got a signed Ian Wright shirt, like, you know what I mean? Framed as well, like, but so I won't be entering this one, but for $3.95, I'll tell you what, I'm going to enter this one for Dan. I'm going to put so we've got 2 shots at it, Dan, like, there you go. I'm going to do it for you,
man.
Yeah,
Love that, man. Love that. I want this one bad, man. This is the
one. I know
one.
you want this one bad, like, So I'm gonna put it in there for you. So football prizes, get on it for $3.95. The legend, the man, one of the greatest players to ever play for Arsenal, Ian Wright.
He is one of the greatest, and he's underrated as well, by the way. And that might sound silly, but everyone puts Henry and Bergkamp straight in their 11. You've got to make room for Righty. I'm sorry, you have to. You got to make room. That's why my 1 to 11 of all greatest Arsenal players is 4-3-3, and it's Bergkamp behind Wright and Henry. You got to. Ian Wright was unreal, man, my hero. And do you know what? Freddie as well on there. So another good player for Arsenal, number 8 for Arsenal.
Yeah.
Has to be done. But that ain't it, Lee.
No,
that ain't it.
That is not it.
There is also, unbelievably, another unbelievable opportunity for you guys to get involved in. Look at this.
Well, this is unbelievable. Like, this is an amazing fan experience, thanks to Looking FC Official. You can get onto them on either Twitter or Instagram for information on this, like, because this is I think this is an unbelievable thing that they're doing. They've got Arsenal legend, and he is an Arsenal legend, Emmanuel Petit, between the 1st and 4th of December. And remember these days, and it all coincides with the Man United game, okay? So the 1st and 4th of December. So listen, you get yourselves on this. It's a fantastic Christmas present for somebody, a birthday present or something like that, to get onto these. And I'm telling you, like, what you can get. Now, one of the experiences you can get is a face-to-face Q&A with Emmanuel Petit himself, like, Okay, so they're doing an evening. It's going to be a venue in Islington. It's going to be in and around there, and you get a face-to-face chance to meet him and talk and a Q&A, like, Now, this is an unbelievable one, Dan. Apparently, he's a bit of a chef, right? So you get a cooking lesson with Emmanuel Petit. You all go to one of these places.
French food, mate. French food's lovely as well.
He cooks a bit of French food and you eat it and chat about Arsenal as well. That's another one there that you can get on. And then you can go to the game. You can go in there and I don't know how that's going to work, but like if it's a box or seats and all that, and you sit with Emmanuel Petit and watch the Man United Arsenal game. Now you can get all of those if you go onto those onto the what I was going to say, like the Instagram or Twitter for Looking FC Official. Go on there and check them out. But more importantly on this as well is that the guys from Looking FC have said to us that we can do a prize, and one lucky person that watches Lee Judge's TV, the 12th man, follows the accounts, will be given the prize, and we'll pick it out randomly for one person to go to one of those events, like, you know. So unbelievable. We're going to know a little bit more about what event it's going to be later on when all the packages are sorted out, and how to enter and how to. Listen, all you're going to have to do. I tell you, we've sort of had a chat about it, Dan, haven't we? We're probably going to say, look, you've got to follow Looking FC, follow the 12th man on socials, mine on socials as well, Lee Judges TV, and whoever does that, we will pick a random winner from that to go and meet Emmanuel Petit. Either have a cooking lesson, Q&A, or go to the Man United game. So we'll find out what it's going to be, but it will be one of those events. So listen, thanks to Looking FC for sorting that out for us. It's an amazing prize. Listen, World Cup winner. Double winner.
He was awesome, mate. Him and Vieira together in '98, that was incredible. So there you go, Pete. What a prize that is, by the way. That is absolutely
unbelievable. Like, you know what I mean? Like, well, you got 3 prizes there: the Q&A, the cooking one, or the Man United game. What would you go to?
Well, because I'm going to the game already, I love my food. So if I can sit and chat to Petty while we're cooking away and talking football, that sounds pretty good.
Yeah, I think that sounds awesome. Yeah, I think that, and I think it'd be a little bit more personal, that one, don't you think? Like,
yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Now, listen, I know the Q&A is not going to be a big venue, right? I've been told that it's not going to be a massive venue where it's going to be like a very intimate sort of environment. It's going to be a small location, so it looks like that everybody's going to be able to get to have at least have a meeting with him or something like that. That's what I'm under the illusions of. So it's not going to be like 200, 300 people there. That it's going to be like a small venue in Islington for that. And I would imagine the cooking one, it can't be massive as well. So you're going to get to meet him if you get down there. So get onto that. And book yourself a place on that, and or also when we give you the details of what it's going to be, and you'll get a chance to go. Thanks to them for giving us this prize. It's unbelievable, really, and I feel very privileged that one of us from you guys can get to experience that, like, you know, from 12th man and Lee Judges TV, to be able to, I think, for us both, give someone that opportunity to go and do that is very humble for us, Dan.
Yeah, 100%, man. So listen, if you're up for it, if you feel like you want to be in it to win it, then all you need to do is follow myself on Dan Arsenal 87. Follow Lee Judges both on Twitter and Instagram. Make sure you're following Football's 12th Man and Lee Judges TV on both those socials as well. And make sure you're also following on socials. Who is it, Lee?
It is Looking FC Official. You can also, tag in Emmanuel Petit if you want. Emmanuel Petit Official, definitely on Instagram as well. Like, boost up his 22,000 followers he's got on Instagram. So that needs to be boosted up a little bit more. So let's get him a few more followers as well. Like, and I'm sure, they got the chance to meet him as well. Do all of that sort of stuff. Let us know when you've done it. And we'll put you in the draw for this wonderful prize, So I can't speak no more than that. You haven't got to do anything. It ain't going to cost nothing. All you got to do is just press a couple of buttons.
Brilliant stuff. All right, great stuff. Superb. Listen, Lee, absolute legend. Big up to every single one of you guys. And you know what? BBY Shady is a legend. He says, there you go, Dan. Here's an extra entry to the raffle for you for
Oh,
Ian Wright.
look at that. Top man.
How
Top.
lovely is that? What
That
a
is
top bloke.
class.
That is class. I shall be putting a couple of tickets in there, and judges, I kindly thank you for your offer as well.
No problem.
Listen,
I'm
guys,
on it.
we will be back before the Liverpool game to talk the build up before that. Hopefully, we've got some more news on some of the players that will be fit. Big up to all of you guys in the chat for your comments, your interaction, your questions, and of course your super chats. And judges, I'll let you say bye with a last word.
Listen, have a good day. Don't worry about the football yet. While you're worrying and panicking, the players have got a day off and they're not worried about it. Then they're going to have another day off. And then we'll see. But whatever happens, Arsenal will be ready for Liverpool.